Okay, Senzo, just keep like very still if she comes close to us. Amaya is wondering, can leopards mate with their own family members? They can and they do. It's not nearly as bad as inbreeding in human beings, but they can inbreed for up to 4 or 5 generations without any adverse effects. But generally what happens is the males will disperse to try stop that. And even adult males, oh, come wide, he's in the stalk mode again. Mom's running away. There they go. And they've gone right behind us. Oh, tackle. Isn't that awesome? Oh, what did you guys hear? Well, as I say with Thandi, always got to be a little bit more cautious than some of the other female leopards we have. So I always tend to stay a little bit further away from her. There we go. Thamba's stalking again. Come a little bit wide. A little bit wider. There we go. So he's in that grass there, and we're hoping. There he comes. Now, full bellies, happy leopards, playful leopards. Now, Pug Somatic is wondering, do leopards shed seasonally like other animals do? Well, during the winter months, there'll be a slight thickening of their coats, but nothing too major. They actually enjoy the cooler weather, and also probably a slight shedding at the beginning of the hotter months. Now, we're getting quite spoilt because with those full bellies, I don't think there's going to be too much playing for too long. They're probably just enjoying this lovely cool weather we're having this morning. There we go, he's on the stalk again. I'm coming for you, Mom. I'm so sneaky, Mom. Can you see how sneaky I am? Mom can't see me if I pretend she can't. Of course, Thandi is well aware of Thamba's position. Oh, she's getting ready to move. She's playing back with him. See how she just sort of faked to get up and move there. And you can see he's focused in on the movement of her tail. She knows exactly what he's up to. Oh, this is awesome. Now see, he's bunching for the pounce, putting all that latent energy in his muscles into a ball of energy. Oh, Mom's looked away. Getting ready. It's going to be a big jump. Boom! Lovely, Senzo, lovely camera work. Awesome. That was wonderful. It is so much fun when they are playful. Okay, let's just move slightly again. There you can see the other vehicles also enjoying this sighting. Mia is wondering, why do leopards have white tips to the tails? And Mia, it is called a following mechanism. Which way are they going now? I think games are over, and Thamba is going to head back towards where that meat is stashed, and that means we're not going to have... Oh no, he's going back in. Hold on, let's get around. There we go, quick. Oh, she's running already. She's running from him. He's still behind her. Sorry, Mia, it's a following mechanism. So there we go. Specifically with young cubs, they are able to follow their mom through thick grass or thick bush by keeping an eye on that white. Oh. I'm coming. Okay guys, I've just heard from Andrew, because we know Thandi and Thamba are going to be here later, and maybe even James can come here because it's not too far from Djuma, but we've just got a report of the cheetah boys heading towards Cheetah Plains. I was just chatting to Andrew there, so I think we're going to start shooting in that direction because I haven't seen the cheetah in so long. I was down on Cheetah Plains yesterday morning looking for the boys, but exciting stuff. So we're going to have to go through the Mulwanini River where the gremlins live. Okay, so if James doesn't make his way to Thandi and Thamba, I'll come back on my way home, but let's try get towards those cheetah because we know how quickly they can cross out of an area. So while we do that, let's go across to Commander Bond. Morning, morning.
Bond is trying to be peaceful, and we're looking up at some doves and some forked-tailed drongai. That is the plural of drongo. Did you know that, Fergus? Yeah, drongai. One drongo, many drongai. There we are. There we are. That was what we tried to show you very first off at the beginning of the drive, but unfortunately it flew away. Now that's interesting. I'm assuming that Brent has actually heard about some cheetah that he's going to go and visit, as opposed to just going to look for them. I'd be fascinated to know. That is wonderful news. So with any luck we'll have some cheetah. The lions seem to all be on Beefle's Hook at the moment, and all of the fork-tailed drongai are here on Gower, or what's this road called again? Gwari Pan Road, approaching Beefle's Hook Dam. Now, there is also a kudu up ahead. Let's go and see if we can't see him. He's a magnificent antelope. He was just skulking through the bushes here. Well, as effectively as a kudu is able to skulk. There's another one, I think, skulking over there. No? No, there isn't. Where is he? He was huge. Enormous bull kudu. Here's the drongo again. Hello. I'm going to talk with my lips not moving, so that the drongo does not become afraid of us. We were very close. Oh, come on, man. It was so cool. He was only about 3 meters away. 2 meters away. Let's go around the corner here and see if the kudu doesn't pop its head out. I'm astounded that it has disappeared. It was a vast animal, 270 kilograms odd. Oh well, let's go a bit quicker. We're going to go towards the dam. I'll see if I can continue my astonishing luck there. Probably up to about 25 visits there sans an animal. Apparently my signal is not good. I'm sorry about that. Not much I can do. So I hope that everyone is now completely clear. Oh. There was a button quail on the road, which I spotted too late, and it's now gone into the... There. You see it there? There are 2 or 3 of them in the grass just down here. No, they're hiding from us. Why do you hide from us, button quails? Let's carry on. Alright, so as I was saying, I hope that you're all clear and completely comfortable now with the with the story. What is that noise? Oh, I've just figured it out. It's this thing. There we go. It's gone. What a blessing. You're completely clear with the Kenyan story. Not worried anymore. No longer in fear. Abject misery. About to take to the bottle because of your desperation that we shouldn't leave Djuma. Fear not. It will not happen. Djuma remains our spiritual and physical home, as it must. It is where we all cut our teeth, and where new Wild Earth members will cut their teeth for years to come, with any luck. They too will drive the roads, quarry pan and hippo pools, hoping to find something in Buffelshoek Dam. And as I was saying, this approach to Buffelshoek Dam, if it is as successful as all the others have been for the last 25, will make it 25 without a large mammal sighting at Buffelshoek Dam. I'm looking forward to that. It will be some kind of record, I imagine. Herbert, who was on board?
I wonder what other trucks we're gonna see on the road, because we've definitely had the smaller creatures around, some genets moving around, some civets walking around. However, it seems that the road has become a bit harder on this side, and just like we were saying yesterday, it might not always be the easiest to spot the animals around. For now, it's been relatively quiet in terms of animal movements, but we have a sign here for an animal that's been moving around that I'd like to show you. It's not a fresh one, so it's really nothing to worry about, yay us. So if you can see all this grass on the tree, all the way over there, and then on the ground as well, everything that we see around here. So if you guys care to take a guess, you can just let us know what animal you think did this, or what animal was around here. It's you can use the hashtag #SafariLive and let us know, and then brownie points for you if you get it right, because brownie points are all that really matters. Right, I see there's some more around here, and then some more there on the ground. Alright, well, we let you guys think about what animal this might be. We've got a Kruger from Mr. Bean Teddy Bear, I want to say. Sorry if I got it wrong. You want to know why Kruger is called a national park if some of it is private? Well, the part that is actually Kruger, and it's the national park, is a government-run park, so it doesn't have anything to do with the private reserves. Now, what sometimes confuses the whole story, so if you imagine Kruger being the shape of my hand, is there are two major reserves. One down here, that is the Sabi Sand, which is where we are, and another one just more towards the middle called the Timbavati. Now, these two are private reserves and are actually an association of multiple private reserves that roughly in the 60s, both of them decided that it was better to create a bigger wilderness area so that the animals would have more space to move around. And then at the beginning of the 90s, both reserves, roughly 1994, they took out those fences that were preventing the animals from the private reserves to go into Kruger National Park. So Kruger National Park is still government run. It's a national park because it belongs to the Republic of South Africa, and it started roughly in 1927. And the two reserves that we normally refer to as the Greater Kruger area are just private land. So there are a bit of different set of rules in between the two that go from habitat management to hunting and other things in the different reserves, but because they are not technically part of the Kruger Park, then they can do different things, or they have different rules, or they can be managed in a way that's slightly different. But because they are joined to Kruger National Park, then the two reserves always need to speak to one another and just find out what's happening, so that they can have at least a common way of managing the land and just making sure that everything works for the wildlife. Because the amazing thing in this big wilderness area is that the priority is just make sure that we have an area that's big enough to support all this wildlife. And Kruger is famous because it's just so big and so many animals live around here, and it's because of the close relationships that they have in between private reserves that are close to Kruger and Kruger National Park, just to make sure that we provide the animals with a bigger area and a better lifestyle, or an area that's properly managed. Because if you can imagine, years ago, so animals could just go everywhere, anywhere they wanted, and because we've fenced them in, then we have to manage the land, and we have to make sure that we don't make them starve to death, but we also got to make sure that they've got enough water. So it's up to some bases, it's been a bit of a trial and error in terms of what to do, what not to do, because there are many studies done about it, and every decision that is made, it's just not done lightly, as in like, oh, we're just going to burn this block, or we're going to put a water hole here. So it's got a scientific backing and lots of studies done just to make sure that what you're doing is for the best of the majority of the species in an area. So it is a very complicated topic, but Kruger National Park, like I was saying, is just called the park because it is a national park. And the private reserves, then that's a different story. They are privately owned and privately run. Right, so, we're gonna carry on with our walk, see what other fantastic things we find around, but let's go over to James, who I believe has found some ellies at a waterhole.
Can you believe it? Here we are at Buffelshoek Dam, and there are actually some large mammals. A vast herd of elephants. A beautiful sighting. Very special indeed. I'm thoroughly enjoying their Easter presence here, and I'm very grateful for their, well, very kind, confiding natures to come and say hello here and not leave me hanging as so many have before them. Isn't that lovely? Sort of three distinct groups that we have there. I suspect led all by one big female, although this is quite a nice indicator of how a big herd like this can split up into three smaller ones. And they are having a wonderful drink. They've obviously been waiting for this for some time. Now, so often I was a little bit worried. They come down, they drink in sort of 1 minute. They'll be shove water down their throats and then get up and disappear. And thankfully this lot are spending a little bit more time here. Is the sound of their trunks dropping into the water, and the splashing then as the excess that they don't manage to swallow falls back into the dam. They really are having the best time. And I don't think there's going to be too much in the way of swimming on account of the temperature. I don't think it's warmed up much since the beginning of this morning, and certainly the the sort of relatively icy temperature is being brought on by a wind coming from the southeast, which tells me that yes, this is a cold front that's coming through here, and I think it's probably still not much more than 16 degrees Celsius or so. No doubt the final control will tell me it's 35 or something like that. It's quite interesting to try and figure out who's who here now. Apparently it's 66 degrees Fahrenheit, 19 degrees Celsius at the moment. Well, it might be without the wind, I suppose. But if we pan off sort of... So there's one big cow you've got in picture there. I wonder if she's not the matriarch. Or the one with her face inside a Sisyphus bush there, looking for Easter eggs, I'm sure is what she's doing, wondering where her children have hidden them. Or perhaps hiding them herself, so that they may enjoy the Easter egg hunt. I don't know how many of you still have Easter egg hunts. I certainly, if I'm anywhere near my family, I insist upon it. My father was very distressed this yesterday when I spoke to him on the telephone. In fact, he sounded positively bereft because my mother said that she wasn't going to give him an Easter egg hunt this year, which he thought was an absolute travesty of justice. That, of course, has got nothing to do with this elephant herd at all. Hello, Bella. You're 14 years old and you're in Chicago, which could not be further removed from where we are here if you tried, and so it's wonderful that you're able to share this wilderness with us on a Sunday morning, or for you, probably a Saturday night there in Chicago. And you say, is it true that elephants have great memories? Bella, we think it is true. I mean, look, I don't think that they can pull off great feats of remembering Shakespeare sonnets or soliloquies, for example, but they know a lot about where trees are, where good feeding grounds are, where water is. And certainly there's some evidence to suggest, Bella, that they remember individual people. And that comes, of course, from elephants who have worked with people and the bonds that they form with those people, and they're not seeing those people for a very long time. And then when they see them again, they do actually recognize them. So yes, we do think they have very good memories. That's useful to them for the same reason that it's useful to us. It's so that they can transfer information to younger generations. And that's true, that's very important for elephants. They have to have an intimate knowledge of the vast area that they move through. Where's the water? Where's the good grass? Where are specific species of trees that they like to eat? Where, when the marula fruits are fruiting, is a good place to go? Where, after a good rain year, are there good marulas, or bad rain year, can we still get marulas? Where can we find them? And I think that has probably led to them having memories that are very good. And feet that are very wide and flat. I know a few people with feet like that. Wouldn't look good in high heels. So, Bella, I hope that answers your question. I'm not sure where the legend comes from, though, Bella. I think it's quite interesting. I mean, the old proverb or idiom goes that elephants, was that the correct term? That a memory like an elephant. Synonym, I have a memory like an elephant. I don't know where that comes from. I'm not sure who actually thought of it, and I suspect it comes from the size that they have. And it actually turns out that it is true. Elephants do have good memories. Now, John B. in Colorado, you've been doing some reading on elephants, obviously, and you say, can you tell a bull elephant from a cow from the shape of their heads? You can, in theory. In theory, the bulls have got much rounder heads than the cows. The cows have got sort of square heads like that one there. That's got a fairly square head. I'd say she was a cow. There are much easier ways of doing it, though. And once the animals are sort of beyond 25 or 30 years old, you really would struggle to mistake a bull for a cow because they are so much bigger. The other way of doing it, of course, the hollow back of the males. Now, that one looks like it's got a fairly hollow back and a square forehead, so difficult. The best and easiest way to tell is just to look between their front legs. Those pectoral mammae are extremely obvious, as are sometimes the protrusions from the back legs. This is definitely a bull. But the genitalia are internal, And so you can't look like you can with, say, a giraffe or a buffalo. Look at that greeting ceremony going on there. They put their trunks into each other's mouths. I just had the thought of human beings greeting each other by biting each other's noses, and I'm very pleased that we don't have to do that. Actually, no, that's what elephants do. Bethany 68, good morning to you, happy Easter, etc., etc. You want to know if elephants' ears shield their eyes from dust? No, Bethany, they don't shield their eyes from dust at all, I wouldn't think. I think that job is performed by the eyelid and also by a sort of nictitating membrane that comes across their eyes from time to time, which gives them a slightly reptilian look, and then also by their eyelashes, which are long. But tear ducts as well, I suppose. Well, they don't actually have tear ducts, do they? That's why that waxy substance forms. They do produce some kind of moisture from the eyes, of course, which will get rid of dust in the same way that we do. There you can see that wax in the middle of the face. Still got some sleep stuck in her eye. Hasn't washed her face this morning. Disgusting behaviour. Carolina, you're wondering why it is that all young elephants, oh, that's wonderful, isn't it? Why they have secretions from the temporal gland. So there's a gland, for those of you who don't know, between the eye and the ear. You can see the eye and the ear. Between there's a gland. And it secretes when elephants are stressed. Now, I can only assume that you are under the impression that there are so many, that perhaps only bull elephants secrete from their temporal glands when they are in must, perhaps. But all elephants of all ages will secrete from that gland when they feel stress. So it doesn't matter whether they're male, female, old or young, they will all secrete from that gland when they are stressed. So that is the only thing that it's used good for predicting. Now, I think that's a young bull, everybody, and if you look at his forehead, it looks pretty square, doesn't it? And so I don't think it's a great way of telling when they're young. He's exhibiting very typical young bull behavior by being quite distant from the rest of the herd as it moves away from the water. Now he's making a sort of testosterone-charged challenge towards a slightly older bull, also looking for Easter eggs in that Sisyphus bush. Now, Rebecca, you, in a very sort of Game of Thrones way, have said, winter is coming. Do elephants like to swim in the colder weather? They don't generally swim in the colder weather. They're a bit like us. They like to swim when it's hot. They don't like to swim when it's cold. I mean, that's not to say they wouldn't have a leap into the water from time to time during the cold, but normally, no, they will not. Now, Brent Leo Smith is managing to have all of the spotted luck this morning, so I think we'll pop across to Cheetah Plains immediately.
There we go, look at this. We've got the two male cheetah, and there's the one male, and they're heading straight towards us. They're still to the north. They have, unfortunately for them, I was hoping we were going to see a hunt, because the impala, unfortunately, have spotted them, and you'll hear some snorting. The impala are right in front of us, but I can only see the one male at the moment. You can see there the impala. And cheetah need to get a little bit closer before they take a chance at the impala. You can hear the snorting. Sorry, I just need to be on the radio for a second because I'm the only station from the Cheetah Plains side who's here. They're probably about 150 meters, but heading south. And they look quite hungry. Who knows, maybe they'll sneak into the trees and try to come around on these impala again. Now, we're going to lose visuals of them. Oh no, they're going to pop around. I thought they might sneak off into the trees, but they're not. They're coming, this is so exciting. Now, let's have a look. They're going to walk straight towards these impala. And you can hear all the snorts. They might try something. You can see the other safari vehicles. Look at that impala standing on its back legs to try see. You don't see impala do that very often. How cool was that? Impala standing on its back legs to try see those cheetah as they went into long grass. Now we can't see the cheetah, that's why we're on the impala. They will be coming out into the open shortly. There we go. You see that kick? That's a very, very distinct movement from impala when they are looking at predators. Now we'll wait a little bit. The cheetah should come out of the long grass shortly. I'm sorry. Yeah. Andrew, I'm here, and I can see Harley approaching as well. So there they come. How cool is this? Look at that. They're coming straight towards us. They are exquisite animals. They are hungry as well. So hopefully they find some more impalas once they cross into Cheetah Plains. It's to the left a little bit. Oh, he's jumped off already. There's one just climbed up a little branch quickly, but here they come. Now there's quite a lot of pressure here, so we'll stay with them as long as we can because we're the first people here. But then we will cycle through, giving other people also a chance to see them. But for now we are here. Look at this! What a wonderful morning so far. Lynn is wondering, how old are these two boys? Lynn, it's difficult to say that they are adults. We haven't seen them since they were cubs, but I'm guessing, just looking at their general appearance, they're about between 6 and 9 years old. But in their prime, these two boys. They're about to cross into Cheetah Plains. Here we go. Now, as I said, they're quite hungry. You can see that belly is quite concave. There we go. They've crossed into Cheetah Plains. Cheetah Plains living up to its name this morning. Let me just turn around. Whoa, there's a big log in the bush there. We don't want to hit that. So there we go. We're just going to move parallel to them. There they are. Hey boys, haven't seen you in so long. As you can see, quite hungry, empty stomachs. I'm just going to find out from Mike if there are any impala around Cheetah Plains Pan. Oh, there's impala right in front of them. Mala. They haven't seen them yet, but I'm sure the impala have heard the other impala alarm calling. But those impala dead ahead of us haven't seen them yet. So we're just going to go very slowly here. Wouldn't this be exciting if we got to see a live cheetah chase? It's one thing that I have not seen since I've been at Safari Live. I've seen live lion kills, live leopard kills, live wild dog kills, but never a live cheetah kill. Now those impala aren't nearly as alert. So Beltiga would like to know, do cheetah normally hunt together? The males, yes. So they are in lifelong coalitions, and unlike lion coalitions, cheetah coalitions are always 100% related. They are brothers from the same litter. So oh, I think one might have spotted. I'm just watching their behavior. So I think the impala have spotted them. They're not being very, very subtle at the moment. The impala are just over there, but we don't need to look at them just now. Let's just see. Okay. Now I said there's a lot of people trying to get into the sighting because these cheetah often walk straight through cheetah plains very quickly. Oh, spotted the impala. They've spotted the impala. See how that the front one's body language has changed. Now the impala are not quite sure yet. They're staring in this direction, but it is a bit closer. Now impala are really fleet of foot. So they're the impala there. But you can see they haven't started snorting yet. The cheetah boy is on the move again. And there go the impala. And the snorting starts. The cheetah boys were a bit slow on that one. Now Josh is wondering about that impala's kick run, where they kick out their back legs, and is wondering, is that to chase or send off predators? Well, there's a couple of different theories. It's to display their agility, to try put off a predator from chasing them. Another reason is they've got those metatarsal glands on the back of their legs that secrete a pheromone or a scent when they do that. Now there's a couple of different theories about why that happens. The one is that it's to confuse predators. I don't believe it at all. I think it releases a pheromone so the herd and different individuals can find each other afterwards. So I think that's the more plausible theory, but no one is 100% sure. Okay, so we've got to give other people a chance to get in here, so I will stay for as long as I can, but they are moving quite quickly, so they could be out of Cheetah Plains very quickly. And we have had a really cool sighting so far, and I'm just going to see who's first standing by. And I'm going to give everyone a chance, and I've fallen back to the back of the lineup, so we can hopefully get back to see them before they leave. Ginny is wondering whether cheetahs hunt at night. Ginny, very seldom. They will hunt sometimes on the full moons, but cheetah are generally crepuscular animals, and what that means is they are most active at dusk and dawn. Cheetah is another species that will also hunt throughout the day, and even when it's hot. Now, the reason that they hunt at these times is to avoid competition with the other big predators, such as lions, hyenas, leopards, and wild dogs. Because cheetah are very slightly built, and they're built for speed. So if even the slightest little injury can be life-threatening to them. So we're going to make space for Andrew from Cheetah Plains to come in and see them. So while we do that, let's go across to Ali. Hopefully we'll be able to get back with them a little bit later.
How lucky are you guys and Brent to have seen a cheetah? That is amazing. It's always makes me slightly jealous, but I'm sure you guys had a wonderful sighting. Going back to the tracks and signs that we saw on the tree earlier, well done to Tam David Williamson for figuring it out. It was indeed a hippo. So you see, often what hippos will do is when they come out of the water, in particular the territorial males, they mark the path that they use to go in and out of water. So if you're ever lost in the bush and you manage to see one of the signs, then you know that somewhere in the vicinity, well, number one, there's a hippo. Number two, there's water, which is always a good sign. So in very good and polite hippo fashion, what they tend to do is once they walk around, so I'm going to pretend to be a hippo, so I apologize for the rudeness, they come walking onto the area and they'll find bushes somewhere around there, and then they just turn around and then they start defecating. And while they do that, they wiggle their tails very, very quickly, so it just gets spread everywhere. So it's a good sign to let other hippos in the area know that this particular path has been used by this particular hippo. Now, there's a very interesting story about why the hippo does this. Why is it so particular, and why it just decided to spread its dung all over? So one of the local communities and the Shangans, which are the dominant tribe around this area, they actually believe it was a pact that the hippos did with the crocodiles many years ago, when the rivers and the earth was still being formed. So what happened was that the hippos didn't want to leave on the land with the lions and the leopards and everything else that could potentially hunt them. So they asked God and the crocodiles if they could just live in the water with them, because it'll be safer, because the cats don't really like the water. And the crocodiles said no, because they didn't want to share it, because the hippos were going to eat all their fish. So that was not in their best interest. So the hippos came up with a very clever idea of actually saying to the crocodile, well, what if we show you that we're just going to be eating the grass and we're not going to be eating any of your fish? So, the crocodile was a bit skeptical, like, honestly, how are you going to prove that? And then the best way that the hippo found is, like, every time I go to the loo and I come out of the water, we're just going to spread all the dung so you can just see that there are no fish parts anywhere around it. And that's why the locals believe that the hippos spread their dung. Isn't it a wonderful story? I love it. I think it's probably, if science didn't exist, that would be my way to go. Liam, age 7, you want to know what is the most dangerous animal in this area. Well, funny enough, while we were on the bushwalk, we came across one of the most dangerous animals around here. A big mama buffalo, her tiny calf, and then another big bull. So buffaloes are very inquisitive creatures, and you must remember they normally have lions after them, or they've learned how to defend themselves against the lions. So they are animals that don't really fear a lot, and they're very strong, very big horns. I mean, if I were a buffalo, my horns would probably be something around this big, I say. So they are one of the animals that a lot of the people in this area fear the most, because they're very determined. So elephants, lions, leopards, when you're walking in the bush, they will always give you a sign that they're not happy with your presence. Either they will start growling or, start making noises, and in a lot of cases, they will just turn around and go away. Or if you've pushed your luck a bit too much, then they will come and they will give you what's called a mock charge. So they will come very close to you, but then they will stop just to let you know, hey, enough now. They may turn around and then they leave. Buffaloes have a reputation for not doing that. If they come, they're coming. And obviously the last thing you want is this big truck of about 800 kilograms running straight to you and not wanting to stop. So in this particular case, I think a mother buffalo with a tiny young calf, it's probably the deadliest thing we've encountered all morning. And they don't just would go hunting or attacking us or anything like it. They're just protecting their young, or sometimes they're just protecting themselves. But what's sneaky about buffalo, and it was actually thankfully Dave that spotted them, while we were walking, they saw us before we saw them, and then they were just behind the bushes, very quiet, just looking at us like, what are they doing? Where are they going? So luckily, you know, we were going down the road and they came straight into our visual. So I was like, oh, you guys are there, but I wonder how long actually, because I am sure they heard us long before they saw us. They were just there, sneakily waiting, seeing where we were going to go and what we were going to do. And like Herbie was saying, we just decided then to go back so that they would see that we were actually not going to go around the bushes and try to hunt them like maybe a lion would do. But we were just not interested. We backed out, we left. They weren't even bothered. So I would say buffalo. Finding a hippo on foot though would also not be the best thing. They tend to get very wary of if they're not in the water. So if they're in the water, a lot of the times they'll open their mouth and go like this, and there will be like water flying all over, but they'll let you know. When they are on the land, because they don't feel all that safe, a lot of the time, especially if you're in between them and the water, then that's when they can become quite aggressive and, just run straight at you. But other than that, I would say in this area, the most dangerous ones are the famous Big Five, which is actually the term Big Five is an old hunting term that was used to refer to the animals that were the most dangerous to approach on foot. So we would have the rhinos, the elephants, the buffalo, the lions, and the leopards. So any of those animals, potentially dangerous for anyone walking on foot in the bush. However, there are ways of walking, so you've got to be taught how to do certain things, and animals here are not to get us. So a lot of the times, just as long as you're respectful to them and you just don't step into their space, then they'll be quite happy for you to just go away and do your own thing. Which is what the buffalo did. So yay, we survived. Not too bad. Alright, well, it seems like there are no buffalo in the distance anymore, but we'll carry on trying to see what we can find around here. Lots of little butterflies flying around. I wonder if perhaps we should say good morning to one of them once they stop fluttering all around these plants. You found one, well done. Judging by the shape of the wings, I'm going to say this is probably one of the acreas. So very spiky wings. Well, maybe not spiky, but very, how can I say this? Very triangular. So I think this is the last bit of all of them feeding and just moving around. Anea, you'd like to know what type of snakes we see on a bushwalk. Funny enough, I haven't encountered any snakes while on a bushwalk recently, but you could encounter any of them, to be honest. The thing with snakes is that when you move in the bush, then you're obviously creating vibrations on the ground, or you're moving the bushes and the grass, and it just makes a sound, and it alerts them, and they're able to pick up that vibration from far away that there's something walking around. So a lot of the times the snakes also are not really interested in seeing us, but I would love to see a python on a bushwalk, an African rock python. That would be quite interesting because they can get very, very big, and they have a beautiful coat, beautiful skin, lots of shiny scales. But there are some that are potentially dangerous to humans. I'm sure you've heard about the black mamba, which is not black, but it's actually of a silver color that we can see while on a bushwalk. Then there's another species called the puff adder, which is normally a shorter, quite stocky snake that's around that we can see. And well, often we will bump into our houses, and you'll find there's variegated bushneck, which is a very pretty green snake with little spots. Sand-bellied striped snake also. It's very long, very thin, brown, and then it's got a beautiful yellow line down the side of its body. I think those are all the ones that I've ever seen on a bushwalk. I'm sure I'm missing something else. Boomslangs, which is also, the male is a very bright color. Sometimes we don't see them, but I think those are all. we're gonna try to find one. That will be quite interesting, but in the meantime, let's go to James and see what he found.
I do not have any dangerous snakes. I did have some buffalo, though. I'm afraid I did not have signal and buffalo at the same time, and so now I don't have anything except a lonely dove sitting on a dead tree, which we're going to look at. No, we're not. It's flown away. Have a lovely Easter, dove. And we've come into this area because I just thought to myself, there's a woodland kingfisher. That's not what I thought to myself, but we're going to look at the woodland kingfisher. I thought to myself, what if Herbert's theory that maybe Karula is denning again? Now, I don't think it's impossible. Do I think it's likely? No. Does Herbert think it's likely? No. But we're all clutching at straws here, hoping desperately that the unspeakable has not happened. And so this is the area around which she gave birth to Hosana and Shongile. It was a cave just in the drainage line away from here, just to basically exactly where that kingfisher was looking. It caught something. It's caught a very small insect. And so I just thought I'd pop down here and see if there are any tracks around. I'm afraid I haven't seen any. That's not to say it's impossible. There are some Ritz's helmet shrikes, alarm calling, around about where the cave would be. But I wonder, I know that Herbert was around here, and I think Herbert and Ali were probably walking through this area for precisely the same reason. Is that not a wonderful woodland kingfisher? Now, I know that a number of people have been saying, well, surely they should be gone by now. I saw a kingfisher last year on the 15th or 16th of May. I was going to the hyena den on my own. I had a morning off, and there was a kingfisher and a juvenile kingfisher devouring an enormous sort of silvery mercury-coloured centipede. And I remember that being the last kingfisher that I saw last year, and that was about the 15th or 16th of May. So I think we've probably still got them for about a month or so, although of course they will not be making any loud chirruping noises because the breeding season is long since done. Which of course is a rather nostalgic thing. Lynn, you say, what pretty colours. Well, Lynn, I have to agree with you. They are very pretty colours indeed. Ah, and there's the sun, making them even prettier. Halcyon blue, carrot, sort of mixed carrot and crimson. Top of the beak, and then the black base to the beak, indicating that this is an adult, not a youngster. Rachel, you're wondering why proportionately the kingfisher's beak is that shape and size. Ooh, there are the Retz's helmet shrikes. I'll get back to you now, Rachel. There's a great flurry of activity. I don't know how many of you have seen Retz's helmet shrikes before. They're not very common. I think they're actually just having a fight with each other. I don't think they're alarm calling. Anyway, there they were. Now kingfisher has now disappeared. Excuse me. Rachel, they have such enormous... I'm going to move because the sun's in my eyes. They have such enormous beaks for a number of reasons. I don't know if they evolved... If the insect eaters evolved from the fish eaters, or if the fish eaters evolved from the insect eaters. But, of course, the big kingfishers have those long beaks for grabbing fish in the water. But you'll find that lots of birds have got what seem to be outlandishly long beaks, and, with no seeming purpose. Why would it need that to catch insects? I think it's probably got... I mean, I couldn't tell you exactly why, but I'm guessing that it's got something to do with the need for reach, be able to reach into sort of crevices and holes and that sort of thing. I think also if you're catching something like a centipede, if you can grab it at the end of the beak, then it's probably less likely to swing round and sort of attack you or get at your face, which of course a centipede would do. They do eat small snakes as well. And why else would they? I think also the very sharp tip to the beak allows for very accurate grabbing. It's not a sort of blunted lunge, if you like. They're extremely accurate, and I think the sharpness of it also, of course, allows them to use it as a spear. There's a misconception, I think, that something like a pied kingfisher, when it dives into the water and grabs a fish, certainly able to land next to something like a big centipede or a little snake. And sunbirds look similar in that they've got long beaks and colourful plumage, but they are not in fact the same, and they're not related to hummingbirds. They're a wonderful example of what we call convergent evolution, where two unrelated creatures have developed the same strategies for dealing with similar ecological conditions. So in Africa we have got flowers that have nectaries which can be exploited by things like birds. I'm going to stop here because I'm going to lose signal. And then in South America you have the same thing. And so both sets of birds have evolved independently of each other. They've both got long beaks and long tongues that they can stick into the nectaries of flowers and extract the nectar. They both also eat insects when they have to. They both, for some reason, are colourful and use that strategy. So they probably, I mean, they must have had a common ancestor at some stage. So that's quite interesting. But they're not actually related to each other, and we don't have hummingbirds here in Africa. Let's head across to Brent. I don't know if he's still with those cheetah. He's perhaps heading back towards Djuma as the smell of Amanda's Easter bacon fills his nostrils.
Well, we're not with the cheetah. We're hoping we're going to get another chance to see the cheetah. There's been a lot of vehicles through there, so I'm just standing by. Oh, and there we go, another vehicle that's on their way to the cheetah. Let me go around this way. Let's go see if there are any tracks on that Kruger boundary. But we are hoping we're going to get one last chance, possibly as they cross the boundary. It's worthwhile. We don't see them that often. That's why I haven't left the area. But what an Easter Sunday drive. Lovely Ellie's alley with snails and slugs. And we've had all the kitty cats this morning. Thandi, Thamba, and now the two cheetah boys. I was hoping that while we were wandering around waiting to get back into the cheetah, we might see Nkanyeni and Vutome. Hi, Anna Marie. Anna Marie's wondering, are there higher chances of seeing a cheetah with cubs in the Mara? Indeed they are. Now, it all depends. The cheetah have much larger home ranges than lions and that. But the only time they are really sort of not sedimentary, but based in an area for a prolonged period of time is when they do have cubs. So hopefully we will be getting to see incredible cheetahs in the Masai Mara. I'm very much looking forward to that. I think the last time I was in that area was about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit less. So I have been there before, so very exciting to go back. And it's just from a guide's point of view, it's so exciting to explore a new ecosystem again. Standing by. Thanks, Abel. So it's always very exciting to explore a new ecosystem. I'm really excited about some of the other stuff out there as well. I mean, obviously you've got the migration of the Thompsons, the zebras, and the wildebeest and all the cats. But the birds are spectacular. And I think one of the birds I'm most excited to show everyone is a Ross's Tarraco. Now I'll find you. Oh, look at that. That's very interesting as well. Now, the cheetah are heading through in that direction, but of course, we have something that a lot of vehicles don't have, and that is a zoom lens. I'm just going to stop right here on the edge. Now, you'll see there's some cars over there, but what I want to show you is over there. Those are impala that are facing the opposite direction from where the cheetah are coming. And sometimes with cheetah hunts, it's actually better to be a bit further away, so you can actually catch the whole thing. But we're just gonna stand by here on the edge of the open area. But while we're standing by, as I said, one of the birds I think I'm most excited to show you when we get to Kenya is a turaco, and it is an absolutely exquisite bird. Now, they're quite common in the area we're going to be, and there it is. Now, of course, here we go. You got it? You see it there? I don't know if you guys can see nicely there, but it's called a Ross's turaco. Ross's turaco. That's very exciting. Now, Larry is wondering, are the animals habituated there? Larry, yes, they are habituated. You can come out, Sense. They are habituated. Kenya is sort of the great grandfather of the safari industry. The first sort of safari started in Kenya and developed from there. So it sounds like they've lost sight of those cheetah, and they're waiting for them to pop out of some thickets. And we're just going to stand by here, so we can have a chat while I'm waiting here. So send your questions in, #SafariLive, anything you would like to know about cheetahs or the future. Now, again, just to reiterate, so everyone understands, we are not leaving Djuma. We will be based in the Sabi Sands. It is our home, so there will still every day be 2 live feeds coming from Djuma. And of course, in the beginning, we're going to have some teething problems, so we will try come live from Kenya as much as possible. But again, it'll be difficult. We've got a lot of stuff to fix and sort out, get the camp done, get the vehicles ready. So it's very exciting, another great adventure. But we are not leaving Djuma. Djuma is our home. Now, of course, we're going to wait here to see if we get another chance to get into those cheetah. So while we do that, let's go to James, who's with an antelope.
There is a nyala. It is indeed an antelope. It is my favorite antelope. I like their colors. I like their general personalities. And of course the males, the magnificent charcoal and chestnut colored bulls. Ooh, very nice. Wagging tail there. Super zoomed. I'm just going to ease backwards slightly. Are we still moving? Are we not? Oh, no, we don't need to move. The Nyala's done that for us. And they love to grey or browse along the fringes of these little dry riverbeds. That's where they find the nourishment that they crave. Leaves. Yeah, let's just go a little bit forward, maybe. Is that of any use to you? Is that okay? It's probably about as good as it's going to get. Now, we were having a discussion yesterday, Byron and I, while I was busy ham-fistedly operating the camera on the back of his vehicle in the afternoon, about colour blindness and that sort of thing. And I remember when I started here, I was deeply confused as to why a nyala should be this colour or an impala be that colour, because to our eyes, of course, that chestnut red is so very easy to see. And through the very kind teachings and research done by our vast array of viewers, which is of course why this job is to me so much more interesting than guiding people that are actually here, because there's so many of you and therefore the collective knowledge is that much higher. Animals like lions and leopards see in shades of greens and reds, not black and white. And that red colour is actually quite difficult to see, apparently, if you see in the same colours as lions and leopards do, which I think is quite amazing. And that's why that to us they seemingly seem so completely ill-disguised, poorly camouflaged. But to other animals, not so much. If you were to see that colour, or if you were to see a duiker or a waterbuck walking through there, they'd be almost invisible. But to our eyes, that very clear red colour shines in the sun. That's really gorgeous, isn't it nice? And in the background, my second favourite call in the world, that of the southern boo-boo. What does it remind you of, Fergus? Yes, it does rather, doesn't it? Fergus was just saying there, it reminds him of a place in the Eastern Cape, which is exactly why I like it so much. I wonder if that wasn't the first bird call that I ever actually learned. It's two of them, one of them going, the other one going. Now that, everybody, despite what some people might tell you, is not camouflage. That's called hiding. They are two different things. It has become a bugbear of mine to hear guides say, look how well camouflaged that animal is, where you could probably hide a bright, luminous yellow nyala in there quite successfully with the same degree of invisibility as you're hiding that one there. Nothing to do with camouflage at all. If you stand behind a wall, well, you're not going to be seen, are you? Good. That is a black monkey thorn that they're hiding behind. And I think from here we will probably move on. They don't seem to be coming out. Very pleasant sighting of two Nyala cows. The rest of the family might be along here somewhere, but they are not. And so I believe that Herb's alley of not. I believe that Brent is still with his spotted delights.
Well, we're very lucky we managed to get in with the cheetah again. They were very close to the mile boundary, but they are here. And patience paid off by hanging around. We've got to spend a bit more time with the cheetah boys. They are on a proper mission this morning. Hungry kitties. Now, I can't see those impala that were behind us went. I'm hoping the cheetah spot them. So even if they hunt them into Mala, we might be able to get a view of them at full speed. Wouldn't that be so exciting? Look at that. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? It's so gorgeous. I can't help myself. Oh no, they moved. Of course they did before I could pick up my camera. Hey boys. There we go. It's going to stop at one to the right. It's one of his favourite scent mark trees. That car better watch out, otherwise he might get scent marked. There we go. Oh, you got your brother as well. They are just absolutely exquisite kitties. Lynn is wondering how long can cheetahs go without food. Lynn, again, like most of the cats, they can probably survive a week to 10 days. And it all just depends. They'll probably eat a lot of small things that we don't see them eat. Oh, they're going to go. We're going to be surrounded. They're flanking either side of us at the moment. And this guy is going to come right next to us. Hey, big boy. So he's going to pass right next to our vehicle. The other one's passing to the left of us, but he's closer. Now, those impala were probably 150 meters from here. I can't see them at the moment. I'm hoping that the cheetah do spot those impala. Here he goes. Unfortunately, they're going to cross behind us. Let me just turn around. So where did those impala go? They were just over there. Hi Ricky. Ricky's wondering, do cheetahs and leopards ever fight? Well, not really. Cheetahs tend to run away from leopards, Ricky. We've actually seen these two male cheetah chased by the quarantine male leopard before. So they don't really fight. Cheetah will try at all costs to avoid any confrontation with the other predators. Even the slightest little injury to them will be... Oh, have you spotted something? Or the other one? I can't see where those impala went. They were around here. And they could be in that little tree line there. But come to the left. This guy's definitely got focus. Oh, until he trips into a hole. He's so focused. He saw something, he stepped in a hole. But he definitely looks like he's seen something. I can't see what they're looking at. They could have heard something. The impala ratting season, the sound of impala ratting would definitely attract their attention, because of course those impala rams are so focused on mating and chasing each other that they forget about being eaten. Now, I'm just trying to spot where those other impala have gone. There was a group of 4 or 5 impala rams to the right of where the cheetah are, and I'm hoping that's what that cheetah is looking at the moment. I can't see. There's just a few bushes in the way, but that's the direction that they were heading. And you can see he's sitting. Could be listening, looking. I can't see anything, and of course I've got a better vantage point than the cheetah do because I'm sitting higher than they are. Akib's wondering how good is a cheetah's eyesight. It's exceptionally good. They rely on their eyes for hunting. They don't see detail quite like we do, but their eyesight is generally good. They'll pick up the slightest little bit of movement in the bush. Yes, he's seen something. That's hunt. He's on the hunt mode now. They've both seen something. What have you guys seen? What have you guys seen? Could there be impala up ahead? There could be steenbok. There could be lots of different creatures. Ah, okay. I've seen what they've seen. It is really far away, but the impala in the distance. Over, where's my hand? I've got to find my arm. Over there. Somewhere around there. A little bit to the right, I think. Right? Yeah, I saw an impala run through the bush there. Okay, let's stick on the cheetah for now. And there they go. So they've spotted some impala in the distance. Unfortunately, not the close impala. They've spotted the distance impala. And there's a great answer to your eyesight. They've spotted those impala at over 300 meters. Oh, we're not going to move a muscle. Now, They're still quite far away, but they've got a lot of cover to use to get towards those impala. I'm just going to wait till we lose sight of these guys, and then I'm going to try and get a visual of the impala. Okay, let's just try and get a visual of those impala. Okay. Let's try and get a little bit of height on the hump. Oh, it's so far away. I can't see the impala. Okay, I'm going to try to figure out what's going on here, which way the cheetah might pop out, and while we do that, let's go to James with a feathered friend.
There is a beautiful feathered friend, everybody. It is the brown snake eagle. Now, yesterday I made mention of the true eagles versus the non-true eagles, and you know what the difference was, etc., etc. And of course, one of the major differences is a lack of feathering all the way down to the base of the feet, which classes this as a as a snake eagle rather than a not a true eagle, which makes the rest of the eagles sound a little bit less than impressive. Now, one of the birds that falls into that category is, of course, the fish eagle. And the fish eagle is the same genus as the American bald eagle, and I got a few gears on Twitter because somebody posted a picture, and I forget who it was exactly, and I love being challenged like this, of a fish eagle or of an American bald eagle with what seemed to be feathers all the way down to its legs, and it said James has some apostrophe splainin to do. So I'm going to assume that it wasn't in fact an American that posted it, and I thought to myself, I indeed do have some splainin, but before I do the splainin, I better do some research. So I duly went and did the research. So thank you for pushing me to that. There is the fish eagle, and you can see that the fish eagle, although not feathered all the way down, although feathered certainly a lot more than that snake eagle is not feathered all the way down to the bottom of the legs. Now, of course, what a true eagle is and what an untrue eagle is, or a fish eagle and that sort of thing, really is, it's English. Often it's not even a biological definition or designation. So there is a martial eagle, and you can see that it is feathered completely down to the very base of its legs. And it used to be that the eagles belonged to the genus Aquila, and a martial eagle does not, but of course a black eagle or Varro's eagle does. Now they're all part of the same family. They're not in a different family at all. It's just all the way down to the bottom of their legs, just like that black eagle there, you can see. So slightly more than a fish eagle. I mean, calling something a true eagle versus an untrue eagle is really an English definition. It's not any kind of biological designation. So I hope that kind of explains it. I'm just going to go across here. I mean, the fish eagle is in some books is in the section with the true eagles, and in some it isn't. Right, there we are. I hope that explains it, sort of, possibly not. Good. Let us continue. That was probably going to be our last extremely exciting sighting for the day from Fergus and I. I'm sure all of you are overwhelmed with excitement. So let's head across to Ali, who apparently has something called an animal.
Talk about how far away.
Well, we've been lucky enough to come across a group of dwarf mongoose. They seem like they're just starting their day. Just it starts getting sunnier and warmer. They've come out to start sunbathing and get their energy and all their high levels going. And then later on, they're going to start foraging and eating and looking for food and moving around. we've been sitting here with them in the hopes that they'll come out, and I think they're getting used to our presence here. In the beginning it was quite funny, they were all staring at us, and now they're just carrying on with their day because they realize we're not really going to go across and try to eat them or anything. There's quite a brave one sticking out the hole looking at us. So it seems that they are just on the mound where they spent the night, a termite mound with a beautiful tree on top, and that provides a lot of cover for them. So I'm sure there are all sorts of little tunnels and areas and little chambers where they can go. And every now and again we've been lucky to see the head of a younger one popping out, just looking around, and then they go back down. I think still it's a bit cold for them to start moving around and wandering off, but I'm sure later on today that's exactly what they're going to be doing. Such curious little animals. They're all looking around. And it's funny because every now and again you'll be looking at one of the holes in the termite mound and there's a tiny little head that pops out, looks around for a little bit, then goes back down, and then there's another one that pops out somewhere else. So because they're such small creatures, what they rely on is just everyone looking out for any potential predators. So often when they start feeding or when they're out on the termite mounds like this, there will be one, which will be the sentinel, just to keep guard or just make sure that if they spot anything, and that's their main task, just protect the rest of the group and just make sure that if they see anything, they let everybody know. So in terms of predators, pretty much anything could get to them. They're looking up at the sky for any eagles that might come down, also any smaller cats that might be moving now that it's nice and cold, potentially some big monitor lizards or any reptiles, that big snake, many things that would come and eat them. But they are so cute and all moving around. And in turn, these mongoose, once they start moving around, they're going to be looking for smaller creatures, insects, smaller invertebrates, and that's what they're going to be feeding upon. Stanley, indeed. They are super cute, all of them. And it's just... I think all of them are up to something different, but I think we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them right now. But it's hard because every time I count them, one of them goes back down and another one pops back up. So what's good about dwarf mongoose in general is that they're also a good indicator on how to survive out in the bush. And I say this because they tend to have once they come out in the mornings, they will face east because that's where the sun is coming from, and that's the stronger sunshine that they're going to feel, and they're going to get warmer a lot quicker. And then once they start getting warmer and their body starts metabolizing everything, then they'll leave their dung, normally on the eastern side of their mound. So if you're ever lost, like I was yesterday in a day with too many clouds, it's a good pointer of the direction you might want to head, or just in general where is north and where is pretty much anything else. And so you see they're just starting with their daily routine. All of them are starting to groom themselves or start to groom each other. We're going to spend some more time with these little ones. I think it would be very, very cool if we managed to get them habituated to us so that we can enjoy viewing them a bit more. But let's go over to Brent and see what the gorgeous cheetah is up to.
You can just see the cheetah to the left of the marula tree, and that's where the impala were. I don't know where they've gone. So if you look just to the left of the marula tree, you can see the spot of a cheetah sitting. There's the cheetah. So unsuccessful. I'm not sure whether the impala spotted them. It was too far for us to see what was going on. But there we go. You can just see the ear flicks. That's one of the cheetah. I'm not sure where the second one is. That impala was right there about 4 minutes ago. You can see the quillias as it's warming up, flying between us and the cheetah. all the impala have been quite... Oh, there we go. You can see the cheetah moving now. I know it's... And you can actually see the heat haze starting to form between us and the cheetah. Now, maybe the impala went off to the right. I can't see them. I think they've escaped. I did hear some snorts, and I think the cheetah are probably going to find a bit of shade. Are they going to pop out from behind there? I just saw a bit of movement. Okay, well, we tried. So it is one of those things, and unluckily it wasn't meant to be, but what a fantastic Easter Sunday start to the day. Leopards, elephants, cheetah, dwarf mongoose, and hopefully it can only get better come the sunset safari. Oh, I was really thinking we were going to get a cheetah chase over this open area this morning, but alas, the impala were too wily, and that's why they're the most numerous antelope in Africa. They are able to get away from all the predators. Well, get away more than they get eaten. So, very, it was still very exciting seeing them jog off, get quite excited.